tell us, sir, about what happened here?
Certainly. So I'm Inspector Jeff Bangor from the Toronto Police Service. I'm here to report what's now a fatal collision that occurred in the intersection of Davisville and Mount Pleasant. At approximately 10:30 this morning, there was a woman walking eastbound on the south side, crossing over Mount Pleasant. At that point, she was struck by the pickup truck that you can see behind me. The driver of that vehicle has remained on scene and is assisting with the investigation. As a result of that collision, the woman was pronounced here at the scene by paramedics, and the investigation is ongoing at this time. Due to the complexity and the fact that somebody has died in this, you can expect to see a very large-scale operation with the police. Our Traffic Services Reconstruction team is currently on the scene investigating the incident, and as a result of that, the charges may or may not be pending, but that'll be something we'll discover at another time. The identity of the person has not yet been confirmed, so as such, I cannot provide information as to who that person is, other than to say that it was an elderly female who was walking with the assistance of a walker. So she's pronounced here at the scene behind us. The coroner has been notified and is on the way to assist with the investigation, and that's where we stand at this time being. So as to say that because this is a collision, there's a number of things that are going to be investigated: the condition of the vehicle, the speed that the vehicle was traveling in, and anybody that may have seen that as well. You know, I can understand that anybody who was here to actually witness this event, it might be quite traumatic and quite gruesome, but we ask that anybody who might be in the area or who lives in the area to review any camera footage that they might have that can assist with our investigation. Anything that will provide us with help can certainly lead to a better resolution in terms of what occurred here today and determine our next steps in this investigation.
Can you just tell us, A, the time that it happened, and B, was she crossing in an intersection on a green or on a walk?
So I'll start with the second question, being that it appeared that she was walking properly along with the signals. So, and it was approximately 10:30 this morning that it occurred. So the individual was crossing from the west side of Mount Pleasant to the east on the south side. So it sounds from the initial point of the investigation, she had the green light and the indication for her to walk properly.
Is speed a factor in this at all?
It always is going to be a speed factor. The truck is a massive, massive vehicle with a lot of weight behind it. So the speed is always going to be variable as to how this collision occurred. Obviously, the impact that caused this was such insignificant that it caused her death, unfortunately. So it will be part of the consideration for the investigation.
You mentioned the driver did stay behind. I saw him being led to some family or friends or people that he knew. He was clearly quite upset. Can you just talk about the state of the driver and how he was doing? I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah, certainly. So I wasn't here when that actually unfolded, but I can understand that the individual did stay behind, and anytime that anybody's involved in something like this, there's going to be a significant amount of trauma that is involved emotionally and physically. And it's certainly something that we have to address as part of the investigation as it continues on.
Can you tell us about the intersection, how long you think it will be closed for?
Yeah, I would expect that it'd be closed for another couple hours as well. Our reconstruction team is here on the scene, but additionally, we also have the coroner that's going to be arriving at the scene to conduct their investigation as well. So once we have the clearance from the coroner's office and our investigation being completed as well, then the scene will be released.
Aiming for like afternoon rush hour?
I would expect before rush hour, I would hope, but at the same time, the concern that we have is the investigation itself and ensure that it's done in a very fruitful way.
You mentioned you haven't identified the victim. Is it because there is an identification on the victim, or are you looking to try and notify family?
A connection of the both. We do have information of who that person might be, but it's not a photograph identification. So once we make that confirmation and we're able to notify the next of kin, then we can release that information. But until then, we can only speculate that it's one and the same person, and we don't wish to speculate. We want concrete evidence before we can make those connections.
Is it your belief she lives in this area?
I don't know where she might be residing.
You said 10:30 in the morning. There's a private high school right here. Fatal is obviously terrible. There was also the potential of there being more people in the intersection at the time.
Yeah, there certainly could have been. We're in a very busy intersection downtown Toronto, and at 10:30 in the morning on a weekday, there certainly is that likelihood of additional people that were in the area. Thankfully, there was only the one individual that was hurt. There was not additional people. As tragic as it is, this could have been certainly more fatal, but we're left with one individual that is deceased as a result of that collision.
So at this time, working theory, the driver may have run a red light?
Run the red light, or turned improperly, or turned without noticing that the person was there. There's so much speculation to that. In terms of working theory, we're going to have to be led by where the evidence takes us, but there's certainly a number of different possibilities as to how this collision actually could have occurred.
Was the truck going south or turning south?
The initial information is that the truck was traveling eastbound and making a southbound turn.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it.